yes, you go all the way up, when you do help people get to the top. Good morning and welcome to the conversation on TOSTV Network, your digital first African news network. And as always, I'm bringing you the conversation from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. And my name is Ade Suwasi. Today on the conversation, we're going to be talking about something quite critical, looking at the success of the 2023 election amid the huge security issues that Nigeria is faced with. The DSS, I think 2 days ago, did say that Boko Haram terrorists are looking to attack public centers, restaurants, bar, and just asking people to watch their backs and be careful. And this begs the question of, what is going to be the success? How do we conduct an election in 2023 if we have this much security threat on our hands? And to help me or join me in having that conversation here in the studio is Uthman Issa Tuchukwu, a public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Adeshwa, for having me.
Yes, such a pleasure to have you. Now let's get straight into the question. You do know that Nigeria has been, besieged with huge security issues for the past how many years, and we're looking at major elections in 2023 across 774 local governments. What do you think is the success rate, or is going to be the success rate of that election, considering the huge security issues that we have?
Thank you very much for having me, Adeshwa. I think to start with, first of all, is on the fact that we cannot rule out insecurities in any nation, but it becomes worrisome when the insecurity is almost getting out of hands or overwhelming the security officers in the state, just like Nigeria. But if you also look at it in another way, election is not quite close. It will be preemptive of us to say that our current security situation may affect the 2023 general election. Let's be optimistic and be hopeful that probably before the election comes, something would have happened to ameliorate the situation. But I fear that if something did not happen before the election, it would definitely going to affect it. Because if you look at our extant laws in Nigeria, security is the first pillar of governance. And that means that once security fails, every other pillar will fall down. And that is the situation of this country. If they don't take care of our security problems before the 2023 election, there's no question about that. Is going to definitely affect the 2023 election. But as it is, for now, we should be hopeful that they are putting all their gadgets together to make sure that 2023 election will be successful and security free.
But you do know that we cannot base securing lives of people, especially the massive number of people that are going to come, because it's like there's a presidential election, governorship elections in 2023, change of an administration. We do know that there's going to be massive turnout in that time. And if the DSS is saying, look, these terrorists are looking to take out people, especially in mass gatherings and all of that stuff, that calls for concern. So do you think that INEC at this point should have, talking about PVCs and all of that, so they should also have, working hand in hand with security outfits, or looking at how to maybe subside the security issues ahead of 2023?
Currently, I'm very sure that INEC is not out of touch with the security situation in Nigeria. And I was privy to watch one of the interviews of one of the National Electoral Commissioners of INEC, Barrister Festus Okoye. He was saying on Channels TV that regardless of the security situation of the country, that they are hopeful that before the election period, the security would have wind down to a minimal extent that would allow INEC to carry out their jobs with regards to 2023 election. And I want to tentatively believe him, because I know the security officers are not sitting down, as well as the INEC on their own part are not also sitting down. There is a kind of synergy that is currently going on between INEC and that of the security operatives in Nigeria with regards to 2023 election. And the report that came out from DSS is also a part of the preparedness for making sure that there will be this kind of reduction in our security threat over the 2023 general election. I believe that they are working tirelessly to make sure that things come together to forestall the security system of our country. And I want to also assure you that I think this time around, the issue of Nigerian insecurity should not also be left at the hands of the government. On our own individual part, we should play our role. When you see something that is suspicious, you should be able to forward such information to the security operatives so that they can do the needful. And in doing that, we will be ensuring that our security system is getting better day by day.
But do you see this issue, this security issue, causing a reduction in the number of people that come out, to vote, especially that go out to get their PVCs and vote? People being too scared to actually go all the way to vote. And also, we've talked about how transportation and all of that is usually an issue, considering the security issues that we have. People going out to get their PVCs, and all of that. Do you think you see also a reduction in that number?
The truth is that we'll have to be very frank with ourselves now. You see, as a very pragmatic person, which I am, I wouldn't lie to you that people will not be threatened by, the insecurity around Nigeria. Of course, that will definitely deter them from going to collect their PVCs. I mean, if you have a verifiable report, like yesterday, I just read the DSS said, you should minimize going to churches, public gatherings, and so forth. Of course, I have to restrict my movement because for one is to be forearmed. Yeah. So it's just normal that when you receive this kind of report, it's definitely going to affect the number of people that will be going to participate in the electoral process, collection of PVCs, registrations, even during the election period. Yeah. People will be scared to go out to vote. Regardless of remove the insecurity, the electoral violence that is characterized with our electoral system, you cannot also, remove that one out of the equation. People carry snap ballots and all of that. Exactly. People who are not, okay with this kind of situation will definitely feel, lethargy, and they want to stay back at home to avoid some of these problems. So I think it's going to majorly affect so many people. Someone like me, I'm really a very scary person. Exactly. So I cannot imagine looking at my life just because I want to go and exercise my right of franchise. Wow. And somebody is no, I won't put my life at that level. I will have to secure my life first before I can even secure my country.
So you're saying that the security issue is going to really hamper on the success of the elections?
Definitely. The only issue I'm having is that it will be preemptive of us to be talking about how far it's going to affect the election, because the election is still quite
still in front.
Exactly. Yeah. So the security agencies are just they are working and putting things together to see how they can, even regardless of the situation, how they can face the election. However, if it continues this way as it is, it's definitely going to affect the outcome of the election.
Okay, let me put you on the spot right here. I think Nigeria's former president, Abdulsalami Abubakar, said something, I think last week, that the elections should be cancelled. The 2023 election should be cancelled, and then maybe something else is done. Do you think it should be looking at... I think it was also because of the security issues that Nigeria is faced with. Do you agree with him that we should cancel the elections?
Well, I've not... I wasn't privy to that particular information. However, if it is alleged that he said so, I do not agree with him. With all due respect to the former general, I do not agree with him, because there are institutions who are saddled with the responsibilities of handling some of these issues. Now, if somebody who is not directly into the system is saying that elections should be cancelled, why those who are saddled with the responsibility to handle the problems are saying that they can go ahead with the election? I think if we weigh the options, we should go with the people who have the responsibility to so do. On this basis, I would, with all due respect, disagree with the former general. Okay. The election should continue, except when it's close to the election and we see that the security situation is not actually getting better. Then it's not something you don't need anybody to tell you that if Boko Haram is bombing Abuja or terrorizing every 36 state of this country, and the election is to be held next week, nobody will need to tell you to stay back home. Everybody will rise to the occasion and say, no, let us put this in and secure our life first.
Okay.
But most importantly, security is non-negotiable when it comes to governance. And that is why the Constitution made it paramount. You must secure the lives and properties of the citizens. It comes first before even the elections and other things.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with me on the conversation this
Thank
morning.
you very much, Adesha, for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for staying with me up until this time on the conversation. Do not forget, as I always tell you, that you can join the conversation across our social media platforms. Just follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's TOSTV Network. And you can subscribe to or you should actually subscribe to the channel on YouTube. It's TOSTV Network as well. And stream our website, www.tostvrnetwork.com, for news, stories, and happenings from across the world. My name is Adesu. Thank you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.